So I watched this apparently obscure movie. I didn't know quite how obscure it was as I watched. I assumed it might be, but then again, sometimes expectations are subverted and such. But no, it's quite obscure. It doesn't even have 100 raters on IMDb. That's very obscure from anyone's perspective. And it's been there for like 8 years so far. So it had some time to just state this most, and yeah, just state is right as the title is supposed to be about a cow, supposedly, even though the cow barely really appears at all, really barely does. Cow is supposed to be depressed, even though doesn't appear to really be any different from any other cow. So, unless all cows are normally depressed, then yeah. I think it was made in 2012, but released in 2015 for some reason. There is really not much information about it online. The title is kind of funny, but that's pretty much most funny it gets. I mean, there's a few, I guess, weird sort of encounters, but mostly it's just awkward and, you know, the title too, in Italian, as this is apparently an Italian movie, is Due uomini, quattro donne e una mucca depressa. Yeah, two men, four women, and one depressed cow. Sort of reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Of course, totally different genre, but there was a depressed robot there, so maybe currently it's depressed cows, in the future there's depressed robots. So this is the problem I have with this movie, right? Um, it's not like it's terrible or anything, as rom-coms go, this page, yeah, describes as a rom-com, although IMDb doesn't have romance as a genre, but I think it could be described as a rom-com. It's not a typical rom-com, of course. Most rom-coms are about, well, first of all, young people. This involves mostly elderly people, and it's most rom-coms are much more immature than this, I suppose. This is more, yeah, mature dramas. Alright, so the problem is one character. I don't know why. There's always something that somehow. I mean, I don't get it. I'm not sure if that's why maybe it's obscure or such. But what what is the point of the eldest hit there? He's currently 90, so it must have been around 82 there or something. Played by Hector Alterio. What is the point of him? I just cannot believe it. It's like someone went there, someone and said, okay, so our quest is to ruin the film. Which character can ruin the film for us? Because otherwise, it's pretty interesting. Some of it's are funny, but the music is really the best part of it, and it's enjoyable. But somehow he needs to be there to ruin it. No matter what, he needs to be there, like literally, even at the end. He's there. I mean, he's only looking, but at that point, his face is just associated with everything idiotic and horrid that was done before by him in the movie. Of course, the introduction he's given is one of the worst sort of um, any personalities can be given, and then it really it's consistently bad, really, and he doesn't have any sort of comedy whatsoever at all. He's just a horrid curmudgeon, really. And I don't get it. And then we even see him, like literally see him. I mean, what is the point of that? Like, so yeah, it's like whoever decided on this character to include this character must have thought that how will we ruin the film, both um, script-wise and visually as well? Just you know, I mean, he plays a disgusting personality, you know. Now, I know he's just an actor, but and obviously this is the problem. When actors, play the part really convincingly, then it's a problem, And this is the first time I've ever seen him, so it would be a problem if I recognize him in any other movie and then remember him, etc. Um, there's a problem. Otherwise, ironically, actually, on his in his biography, I read that at one point he was threatened by a um, a, an organization that this character, I have no idea about his own real life really, but this character in this movie would really belong very well in. But ironically, it threatened him in real life in the 70s or something, not any time recently. Yeah. So yeah, I don't get the point. Why must movies be ruined by something? There's always something that ruins movies. It's not usually so obvious though. It's usually like I don't know, like a pimple maybe, but this is like a big gash thing or something. I don't know, just like what? Why is he there? What's the point of him? I mean, he is seriously most horrid characters. He's very similar to Eastwood's character in Gran Torino. Of course, Gran Torino is a wholly worse film because the genius thought that it would make it would be a such a character could be a protagonist somehow. At least he wasn't this Hector's character here wasn't a protagonist in this movie. If he was, this movie would be as bad as that other one, But that's pretty much it. They're very similar characters, and it just I don't see the point of watching horrid people in a movie. I mean, I don't get any sort of enjoyment of seeing horrid people. I don't get it, especially when there's music and song, and sure enough, other than that, everyone else is sensible, uh, and even slightly funny, slightly, not terribly funny, but I really don't see the point of him. He just ruins everything, you know. I mean, sure enough, everything else then still remains there, and other people have their own parts and such, and he's not in every scene or anything. But the scenes he's in, he really, really sort of mars them, sort of like like a coffee spilled all over some sort of paper. And at one point, he throws a dart and the protagonist backside. I mean, what's the point of that? Is that supposed to be funny? That's literally the extent of his attempt at humor. Yeah, not at all, of course, but yeah. Um, whatever. Uh, the only part where he actually laughs actually is when he's talking about hunting. Of course, uh, horrid people just somehow I don't know if this is like a stereotype or such, but yeah. Anyway, otherwise though, yeah, it's as I said, it has song and not quite dance, but you know, um, music. It has music, and music is one of the best parts of it. It has this sort of OST that just it's like in the background. Every time someone speaks, there's like a bit more of it, almost cartoonish in a way. Um, in fact, uh, recently watched one of those old Blondie movies that had similar music. They are very much cartoonish, so I think they're like in Tom and Jerry or something. Um, yeah, but otherwise, yeah, no, I like the music. It's quite obscure though. And yeah, why not? I mean, it's but seriously, that guy just ruined it. Well, I don't see. I really don't see the point of him at all. And but otherwise, it wasn't too bad. It was just one of those things, where it's sort of like in some rom-coms, where they introduce vomiting. I don't know why they do it. There's always some movies that ruin themselves. This is the equivalent, I guess. Uh, some movies really seem to think that some things are funny when they're absolutely not. I don't think this was an attempt at humor here, but I still don't see the point of it in such a movie. Otherwise, at all. But otherwise, yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Um, Obviously, that part there, it's also subtitled like shooting stars in Spanish, which is what is it again? Let's try saying this. Como Estrellas Fugaces. Fugaces? Fugacia. Never mind. Yeah. Obviously, that's sort of what could be confused for that Hindi movie I just watched. Did I say just? No, just. I watched it months ago. I think it was also called like Shooting Stars, literally. Yeah. So nothing to do with it though. Nothing at all, and plot-wise either. Yeah. Otherwise, also, I actually watched this movie as opposed to these. There's all sorts of alternate titles. Yeah, which might be another reason why people I guess got confused about everything. But I actually watched it under the title of Last Chance for Love, which is the most irrelevant title, really, I suppose. So might as well just call it this thing here with the depressed cow. Makes it sound though funnier than it is, really. And I suppose like shooting stars is just simply referring to a scene at the end where they discuss shooting stars and say, the more the brighter they get, you know. Sure enough, that was sort of a highlight, but it came and went, just like the shooting star itself. And as a film on the whole, it didn't quite make an impression like any shooting star. So that's the irony of it. But otherwise, yeah, it's funny that in Italy, Italy was played by a Serbian actually.